Yo, what's going on, guys? Bot Mentality here with another Bitcoin chart analysis for you. And today is September 21st of 2018. And man, guys, am I excited to bring this news to you. We finally saw a breakout, finally. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out is how I traded this. That's the very first thing I want to point out. So you remember on the previous videos, I drew this wedge here for you guys. Just connected it just right there to the lows. Okay, this is the wedge that we've been focusing on. Actually, it was drawn to right here. Let me get it to the right spot. Right there. This is the wedge that we've been focusing on for the past couple days. I drew a horizontal line here at 6,400, and then we zoomed in on that here. Okay, so the very first thing is we saw that consolidation hanging around that 6,400, and I said I want to see either a break below to look for that 6,000 break towards 5,800, or see a break above and buy the consolidation over 6,500. And then look for a breakout over the 6,600 high. This is what I've said here for multiple videos. And we did finally get that break right here. We saw the break, and then we saw a slight consolidation. I'm on the hourly right now. Drop it to the 15-minute. We saw the break right here, and break right above it. Slight consolidation right there on the 6,500. You could even consider this pop up here to $66,640. You consider that just extended consolidation here as we had this, as we consolidated right here in this area. So we sat there for a couple hours before we continued up to rip through the 6,600 on volume, and going to go ahead and head towards the 6,800. Now, how I traded this is what I've been saying for multiple videos, is I was looking to buy on EOS. So if we jump over to EOS, you'll see here that we saw a break above the $5.50 level, which I talked about in the last video, and EOS was just kind of consolidating, waiting for Bitcoin to get moving. And so what I said, I was looking to buy a pullback towards the $5.50 level, because that marked the previous pivot highs we had over here and over here as well. That's what I was looking to buy. So I layered my orders. I bought this wick right here on EOS that coincided with Bitcoin heading for that 6,800 after it saw the consolidation on the 6,500. That was my entry signal on Bitcoin, but I traded EOS because it's more volatile. So I bought in here at $5.65, nearly bottom ticked that wick, and then it's been up ever since. And right now we're pulling back because of a little bit of bearish divergence on Bitcoin. I'll show that for you. But the thing you guys got to understand is here all the way up to the current price, we're looking at a 7% gain there just today. That's a lot of money, guys. Just 7% can change your life if you're able to do that consistently and just remain patient for that move and look for opportunities like this. So I waited for the confirmation there on Bitcoin. I waited for the confirmation on Bitcoin as we consolidated around here in the 6,500 and bought the pullback on EOS, as you can see, because if we move, if we look at this previous consolidation low to the current price, we've only moved 4%. As a matter of fact, from the 6,400 on Bitcoin, we've only moved nearly 6%. But on EOS, we moved over 7.5% so far on this run. So that's something you need to keep in mind. That's why I said I wanted to buy EOS. So that's my trade. Yes, I still have my EOS. I'm just kind of remaining patient here. It makes sense that Bitcoin needs to pull back a little bit and hopefully find consolidation on the next support level. So I'll show that to you guys. I just want to go ahead and cover that trade and show you how I acted on that. Let's go back to the hourly. Let's drop these lines here. The very first level you need to be focused on for Bitcoin as far as a pullback or retracement for consolidation is that 6,600, because that was the previous breakout level. We saw volume once we approached that point. We saw a parabolic once we moved through it. This is the first level that people would be looking, the majority of traders would be looking to buy. Of course, it's 6,500, but hopefully we don't see a pullback to that point, because as of right now, we're pretty far from it. If we went back to 6,500, I wouldn't feel too good about that. But right now, we definitely can. This is a much better move than we could have hoped for in such a short time. Essentially off no news, pretty much. So this is a good sign. I'll drop it back here to 15-minute. So you want to watch that 6,600. If any wicks towards that level, you can buy. You could even look at the previous lows of consolidation there, the pivot lows at the 6,700. So really, this range, you could look to scoop anywhere pretty much in that blue shaded area. Anywhere in that blue shaded area would probably be fine. But your risk, you need to be focused on that 6,600 and that 6,500, which you need to keep in mind. So how did I know we were going to pull back here on Bitcoin? Well, if you check my Twitter, I did tweet out that this was coming. At least a small pullback, a small dip, because of the fact that we have such a strong bearish divergence here on the RSI levels. See how we have that downward sloping RSI, and higher highs, that just shows that we're having a less buying pressure here up into the 6,800. Now that makes sense for multiple reasons. The first one is because we saw a lot of volume here earlier in the day. We're kind of dying off right now. Also because 6,800 is a resistance level. We have poked through it a couple times. We have yet to form solid support and put in some pivot lows on that 6,800 level. I'll draw that for you right there. See, we haven't even, we just pretty much, it's all pretty much a reject so far, which makes perfect sense, guys. I've been saying here for weeks that we would see resistance at the 6,800. So right now, if you're not in, definitely please do not chase altcoins. Wait for a pullback on Bitcoin and an even stronger pullback on alternate coins to get in, because of the fact that alternate coins, like I said, they've moved so much further than Bitcoin. They're a lot more extended. So if Bitcoin, let's say, fails here, and this is just a reject, and we head back to 6,005 or 6.4, you're going to be in a lot more pain than if you had bought Bitcoin, because the alternate coins move so much further than Bitcoin. So you definitely need to make sure you keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm still long on my EOS trade there. I went over this 6,600 support. You know, the resistance there is 6,800, and the alts are overextended. Now, the other thing I want to go over here is on the 4 hour. Okay. We're seeing descending bullish volume here on the 4 hour, so it is a big deal. We have that along with the bearish divergence on RSI and essentially a stuff here into the 6,800. You see that long upper wick right there? Essentially a stuff into the 6,800. I'd like to see a little bit more volume there to indicate that as a bearish sign. I think what we'll do is we'll have a little bit more consolidation before we retest. I don't think we're just going to head back to 6.5, but I'm feeling good about my EOS scoop, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to wait and see what happens here right now. And that's pretty much the majority on the 4 hour. I love the fact that we had so much bullish volume right here. We were pretty consistent with that, even though it is descending into a resistance level. That's great, because when you take into consideration the Bitfinex long and short charts, which I'm about to get to, you'll see why this is so significant. But before I do that, let me jump to the daily chart. So here's one thing I want to go over with you guys, and I've gone over it multiple times on the past on previous videos, okay? The main thing is, you see here, if we look at the downtrend line, I drew out the Fibonacci here on this downtrend, you'll see that we topped at the 61.8, okay? We topped at the 61.8. After we bounced, we topped at that 61.8 Fibonacci level, all right? So then if we go down to the next downtrend, here again, we topped at the 61.8 Fibonacci level. So now we have a pattern, all right? And then we go to the next lower high, okay? Here, the next lower high, draw it right there. Again, we topped out right here under that 61.8 Fibonacci level. So now the question is, where does that land right here? Let me draw this out for you guys, and you'll see it coincides right there with the 6,900 resistance, right under 7,000, which would be a resistance point anyway. Remember, whole and half dollar marks. And it's right above that 6,800 resistance level. So, and we already see a wick here forming at the top of this Fibonacci. So here's what I'm going to say. I know traders are going to be looking to enter a short position under 7,000 because 7,000 is a nice risk. You know, 6,900 is a nice risk. People are going to layer shorts to that point because of the fact that it's below 7,000. And we're likely to see a reject off that. We're at a pretty good point based off the previous downtrend to make a lower high and just continue the previous daily trend, right? If we were to draw a horizontal ray from this high to this previous high, right, and just collect those, you'll see that's going to line up essentially with that 61.8 pretty much. Maybe that lines up perfectly with 7,000. Depending on how long it takes us, it could line up perfectly with this 61.8. You need to understand that a lot of different resistance levels are lining up right here, and it is fantastic that the bulls were able to make such a strong move here so far, but it's not yet over. So remain patient. Definitely don't chase. Look for the pullback on Bitcoin. Like I said, just remain safe and just be careful here. We're still waiting for more continuation. Now, let's talk about the possibilities here, the bullish possibilities. So I talked about the resistance that's coming up: 6,800. 6,900, 7,000, and 7,150. And I can actually demonstrate that for you because I don't think I've drawn that out for you guys yet. Let me do that. So 7,000. So of course 7,000 is a serious level. If you go to the daily chart, just so we had a pivot low over here. All right. Of course you got 7,150 because if we zoom in and we go to the 4 hour and you look back here, you see we have a top out of it right here and right here as well. Two pivot highs there on that 7,150, and you know, of course, 6,800, right? 6,900, we had a little bit of resistance over here. We bounced that level, but it's pretty much just an extension of the 7,000 resistance, honestly. Not that significant. Bitfinex long and shorts, guys. It's been so long. Sorry, I'm a little scattered here. It's a little bit late. But it's been a good week for me in trading, guys. Good week in trading along with the options as well. So on the 15 minutes here, you see that the Bitfinex longs, the longs have slowly stopped accumulating here up into that 6,800. That, the lack of volume. That makes sense, right? We've seen a decrease in volume because the bulls have stopped buying as much right now. If you look at the Bitfinex shorts, well, let me go to the hourly. All right, notice the difference here, okay? That's an 11% increase in shorts. Let's go to, or excuse me, 11% increase in longs. We go to the shorts. We look at that the previous consolidation here. This is right here is when the shorts started covering. All right, if we measure that out, we're looking at only about 9%. We're still decreasing, which is good, but the shorts are not as panicked as the longs. So the longs have accumulated more Bitcoin than essentially the same amount of shorts that's covered. So what that means, and what I'm trying to communicate to you, is that we have a long way to go. Look on the daily chart here on the shorts. We're still hanging near the highs. We could retrace as low as this previous pivot low on the shorts, or even this one right here, assuming we really get going. What I'm trying to say is shorts have hardly fueled this pump, and we're already at 6,800. So we have a long way to go here, guys. We are, in fact, very, very close to seeing that accelerate. Now, what we don't want to see is we don't want to see the shorts gain confidence right here and start to curl back up, especially if they come back and break their previous low, because what that would demonstrate is the shorts haven't lost confidence. Okay, that is a potential scenario. The shorts haven't lost confidence and they're looking to accumulate on this, and essentially this will just be and turn this into a lower high on the daily chart. So you see we broke this low on the shorts. We haven't really accelerated too much right there. But one way to look at this is that, yes, in one side we have a lot more potential for the shorts to cover and further push the move upwards. And so even if the longs have stopped accumulating there on the Bitfinex longs chart, which I demonstrated to you, the shorts could take us the rest of the way through 7,000 easily once they start covering, right? Or is the reason why we haven't seen as many shorts is because the shorts aren't panicked. They have it under control and they're looking to add here. This is just a momentary, lower high or higher low before they reclaim and head back up to break the all-time highs on shorts, right? So what is it? Is it that the shorts are lacking confidence, or they actually are scared here and we have more the shorts have confidence, or we have more continuation in our future? There's two different ways to look at that. I would just say remain patient, keep your risk in control, and let the chart play for itself. But there's an idea and something you guys need to take into consideration. And that's pretty much for what I have right now. We need more extension on the shorts that could help us out further, because the longs are really slowing down here, and if they don't continue, we could pull back and see some more consolidation towards that 6,600. So if you're looking to buy, look out for that. That's essentially what I got there. Just real quick, I'll jump over to the Ripple charts. I know that's been real exciting for everybody. Let's see what that looks like. I will go to Bitfinex. The long, shorts, Ripple Tether, Binance, Ripple. We'll go to the we'll go to the Ripple to Bitcoin ratio. Okay, we're gonna drop this. We're gonna go to the daily. So this has just pretty much been an incredible parabolic, absolutely insane. Here's one thing you guys need to keep an eye on. Let me drop it down to the 15 minutes. Okay, of course we have support, as you know, right here at that 69,000 Satoshi level. Of course, we have support right there, and we're pulling back to it. We should have had support here on this previous high, but it makes sense because if I go to the daily, let me see what we're looking at. Yeah, actually there was. You see this previous two pivot lows there that touched it. So we should see support at this current price, which is where we're at. You can see the wick there toward the bottom of the candle, which makes sense. However, this has been such an overextended move. What I would look for here, guys, on Ripple, I would not look to buy this and see it just head straight back up. I don't think that's likely. As far as I know, they haven't released their product yet. What I would look for is some consolidation here on this level, or potentially even higher highs, something like this, to slowly grind us back for an ABCD. If this bullishness and Ripple is going to continue, where would my risk be? If you're looking to buy here on this support, you would need to have your risk on this support, on that 69,000 Satoshi level, if you're buying at the 75,000 Satoshi level. But even then, you're looking at, we're looking at probably a pretty decent move. So make sure you're sizing accordingly to that. I wouldn't just all in it at current levels, because that could be irresponsible depending on how far we go. But Ripple, yeah, I would just wait for more consolidation. I wouldn't buy it and just expect, for example, you see what happened right here? That's what you need to look for right now. But you need to look for it between these two levels, 69,000 Satoshi and 75,000 Satoshi. I'm personally not playing Ripple. I'm going to continue watching the Bitcoin chart and trading EOS. I see this continue upwards. I think what's happening here is we're seeing a lot of euphoria. A lot of people are running and chasing this, and you don't want to get caught when the music stops, which is what I've talked about on Bitcoin multiple times. So that's pretty much what I've got here for you guys today. I think I hit every point I needed to. Just continue, guys. If you, again, hey, if you need to reach out to me, shoot me an email, comment in the comment section below. You can tweet me on Twitter. If you're interested in getting some, daily technical analysis, if you're not able to do this yourself, I do have a newsletter where I send that out along with some news articles, and a mentorship program if you're looking for more one-on-one time, different, one-on-one calls and coaching to kind of get you to that point where you're where I'm at, where you can look at a chart, understand it, and trade your own strategy based off that. I do have a mentorship program for that. And I do have a private Discord chat room where we trade, stocks, options, and cryptocurrency in there. If you're looking to join that, you can. All that information is on my Patreon, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I will update you guys on my EOS trade tomorrow. Continue to stay focused and control your emotions. Develop that bot mentality and learn to trade like a machine, guys. I'm out of here. Deuces.